On the 9th of September 2018, multiple 911 callers reported a 26-year-old man walking naked along Interstate 95 in Orangeburg County, South Carolina. His name was Paul Tarashuk Jr. He was found climbing onto the cab of a moving 1/8-wheeler after riding on top of it for nearly 11 miles. A deputy made contact, an ambulance arrived, 2 EMTs evaluated him, and then every single person on that highway with the authority to help him made the decision not to. A few hours later, Paul Tarashuk was struck and killed on the same highway they pulled him from. His toxicology came back clean. He wasn't on drugs. He wasn't drunk. He had schizoaffective disorder. He was in crisis. And they left him at a closed gas station in the middle of the night. The family sued. The case went all the way to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, and it ended in a $2.7 million federal settlement. The bodycam footage from Deputy Clifford Doroski's camera captured the entire encounter. Orangeburg County Sheriff's Deputy Doroski was the first on scene. He got Tarashuk off the truck and walked him to the ambulance when EMS arrived. 2 Orangeburg County emergency medical personnel responded, paramedic Alison Harmon and EMT Jamie Givens. What you're about to see is how they handled a man in a psychiatric emergency.
Hey, come over here. Hey, the ambulance is over here. Come on. We're trying to get you help, bud. Go over and see the girls in the ambulance. Come on. Come on. Go over and see the girls in the ambulance. They're going to get you the help. They just want to check your vitals. That's all they're going to do. Come on. That's all they're going to check your vitals. Make sure everything's okay. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Sit down. Sit down. So you have to talk to us. All right? What's your name? Yeah, the little kid. Give me the little kid. You speak English? Hey. Hey.
That's all. Again, 1 minute he's head up, eyes up, looking around. Next minute, head down.
Give me some out of me. Breathe that in. Here. Talk to me. Talk to me. If you don't want it up your nose, then talk to me. Stop acting stupid. You're a grown man. And what's going on? Don't shrug your shoulders and do your hands. Tell me. Open your mouth and talk to me. What's going on? Why are they out here on the interstate with you? Say. Hello? Hello? I'm not playing.
So there are 2 separate failures happening in that clip. The first is that smelling salts are ammonia-based inhalants. They're designed to restore consciousness in someone who has been knocked out or is in a vasovagal episode. The clinical protocol says you hold the capsule about 4 inches from the nose. You do not insert it directly into someone's nostril. That is not how this tool works. But the bigger failure is that they had 0 medical basis for using it at all. Tarashuk was conscious. He was sitting upright. He wasn't passed out. They weren't trying to revive him. They were trying to get a reaction out of him because he wouldn't talk. And when he didn't react to a powerful chemical irritant being shoved up his nose, they treated that as defiance. That's not defiance. That is a symptom. The South Carolina State EMS protocol for altered mental status lays out exactly what should happen when a patient presents the way Tarashuk did: decreased responsiveness, bizarre behavior, changes from baseline. Those are the specific indicators that require a transition to a mental health assessment protocol. Tarashuk checked every single box. Found naked on a highway, riding on top of a truck for 11 miles, nonverbal, unresponsive to pain stimulus. That is a textbook altered mental status presentation. Not one flag was followed.
I told him my name was Cliff. I tried to talk to him a few times. He didn't want to talk.
You want to write your name down? Can you write your name?
Give me a wait or something. I need a wait. Yeah.
If it's an act, it's a pretty good act.
Yeah.
Because I see the same thing when I see a variety of drugs being used.
Yeah.
Now, if you're taking something, we're not here to judge you.
What you been
You want to
taking?
get treatment. If you're taking anything, we're going to get treatment for it.
What you been taking?
We all just want to make sure you're okay. That's all we want.
So exactly what they
Alright,
find
give me a
him running down the highway or something?
Supposedly he was naked on top of the cab of a tractor. The driver said he picked him up and he doesn't know a whole lot. He can't tell us anything.
Where are you from?
This young man's not saying anything.
He ain't got no ID?
Hey, where are you from? Seriously, talk to us. We want to get you some help.
I just want to go ahead to the substation and go to sleep. So if you tell me your name, we'll let you go so I can go back to bed.
She's being serious.
I'm being fucking serious. I'm sleepy. Give me a damn name so I can go home, for real. I'm tired.
What happened to your arm? You been walking? How long you been walking?
That was from that damn blood pressure cuff that
Oh.
she just took off.
Leave me alone. I'm sleepy
Come
too.
on.
We're all sick here, okay?
Please give me your name so I can go home. I know you know what the hell we're talking about. You're sitting there laughing and
What's your
bullshitting.
name?
So tell us your damn name, please. Rodrigo? There you go.
How about David? How about Kevin? How about Charles?
Can you please tell us your name? I really like to go home. For real. I'm sick. I don't feel good. Do you want to go home? Or do you want to go to the hospital? Or do you want to go to jail? The choice is yours. I can provide any of the three. So where you want to go? So where you want to go?
What, Sean?
Hello? Where you want to go?
These ladies can't be out here all night like this. None of us can.
And the longer you don't talk,
You're tying up a lot of resources. We're trying to help you. Okay? If you don't want to go to the hospital, you can go with me. Those are your choices.
Talking in about the next 5 minutes.
It's going to be less than that. Because I've been playing this game for far too long. I've been very patient with you. We want to get you some help. That's all we want. Okay? Do you want to go to the hospital? Because if not, you're going with me. That's how I'm going to solve this problem. I'm a patient man, but I've been out here for a long time.
78. 160 over 78.
What's your name?
All right, hold on. Let's try something a little different. Hand me a piece of paper.
What's your name? It doesn't matter what language he speaks. He can speak his name.
Right. What is...
He's not a retard.
No. But if he don't want to talk, he can read.
He understood what I said. He read my lips.
He's laughing with us. He knows what we talking about. Yeah, see.
What's your name?
Pudding-tang, ask me again, I tell you the same.
What's your name?
We're not going to sit on the side of the road all night with you. So what's your name?
What are you looking at me for? You full of shit, bro.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, What's your
Alright.
name?
You don't want to talk to us? Yes or no? We know you can talk. We know you can understand us. No, you got to be real with us. What is your
Shake
name?
your head if you do.
Okay.
You don't.
Do you want to go to the hospital? Yes or no? Do you want to go to jail?
That framing of hospital or jail, your choice, is not a compassionate offer. It is a coercive ultimatum given to a man who clearly does not have the capacity to make that decision. South Carolina Code Section 4417410 exists for exactly this situation. It says that a person may be admitted to a public hospital or mental health facility under emergency conditions when another person believes the individual has a mental illness, and that because of that condition, there is a likelihood of serious harm to himself or others. Tarashuk had been found naked, climbing onto the cab of a moving semi on a highway, unable to communicate his own name. That is exactly the profile this statute was written for. Neither the EMTs nor Deputy Doroski needed his consent to transport him to a mental health facility. They had independent legal authority to act. None of them used it.
So those are your two
Then come
choices.
on, I'm gonna give you a ride. You don't want to go to the hospital, Leo? So let's go. His vitals are good, ladies?
Yes.
All right.
Have a nice
Come on. I'm gonna give you a ride. Do not walk on the interstate. Walk right on the shoulder road. You're not going to jail. You're not under arrest. I'm gonna give you a ride. I ain't giving you a ride to jail because if I was gonna give you a ride to jail, you'd be in handcuffs. You're not in handcuffs. You're not under arrest. I'll figure out where you live. Give you a ride to a safe environment. That's all I want. I want to make sure you're all right. That's why I get EMS down here. Check your vitals, make sure you're okay. Hop on in, we'll get you a ride. You put your seatbelt on.
Those are almost kind words. He promises a safe environment. He checks the seatbelt. He frames it like he's doing the right thing. What Deputy Doroski actually did was drive Paul Tarashuk roughly 15 to 18 miles to a closed gas station near the Santee town line and leave him there. No shirt, no shoes, no wallet, no phone, no ID. In the middle of the night, surveillance footage from that gas station shows Tarashuk walking away. He walked about half a mile back toward Interstate 95. At approximately 6 in the morning on September 10th, a driver called 911 and said, "I think I hit someone near the Santee area of I-95. It was Paul Tarashuk. He was dead when the same EMS team that had cleared him just hours earlier arrived on scene. The Orangeburg County paramedics, Alison, Harmon, and Jamie Givens, failed at every level of their professional duty. They administered a medical irritant improperly and without clinical justification. They watched a man fail to respond to that irritant and drew no diagnostic conclusion from it. They did not follow the South Carolina altered mental status protocol. And then Givens falsified the medical records documenting Tarashuk as alert and oriented when he was clearly neither. And Harmon's background makes this worse. A couple years before this incident, DHEC had documented that she had a drug addiction, had appeared under the influence while on duty multiple times, and was, quote, a danger to patients. They required her to go to rehab and allowed her to reapply after 3 months. Her record at the time of the Tarashuk incident listed no prior violations. Deputy Clifford Doroski was the sworn law enforcement officer on scene. He had a duty to act. South Carolina Code 4417410 was available to him. He had more than sufficient grounds to invoke it. Instead, he drove a disoriented, nonverbal, unclothed young man 15 to 18 miles to a closed gas station at the edge of his jurisdiction and drove away. No criminal charges were filed. Solicitor David Pascoe determined that, quote, none of the conduct presented in this matter rises to the level of criminal misconduct in office. No disciplinary action was disclosed. As of the most recent reporting, Doroski remained on the job. The only accountability came through the civil courts. The defendants tried to get the case thrown out by invoking qualified immunity. That is the legal doctrine that shields government officials from civil liability unless they violated a clearly established constitutional right. The case went to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals twice. In November 2022, the court rejected qualified immunity for the EMTs in Tarashuk versus Givens. In October 2023, they rejected it again for Deputy Doroski in Tarashuk versus Doroski. The court's reasoning was straightforward. Abandoning a naked, nonverbal, mentally ill man experiencing psychosis at a closed gas station constitutes deliberate indifference to serious medical needs. No reasonable officer could have believed that conduct was lawful. That ruling opened the door. In 2024, the Tarashuk family finalized a $2.7 million settlement against Orangeburg County, the Sheriff's Office, the EMS department, and the individual defendants. The family's attorney said that not one person from the county EMS, the Sheriff's Office, or the Highway Patrol ever apologized or took any responsibility for what happened to Paul. Paul Tarashuk was 26 years old. He was from Raritan Township, New Jersey. He had schizoaffective disorder. He had an emotional support dog named Zeppy. He was in crisis on a highway in South Carolina, and every person with a badge or a certification who encountered him that night decided he wasn't worth the paperwork. The authority granted to first responders carries an obligation. It does not end when the shift gets long or when the patient won't cooperate. A federal court agreed. The settlement confirms it. If you think this type of content is important, subscribe. I cover cases like this every week. Drop your thoughts in the comments.